everyone, this is Julie Murphy, and I wanted to share with you a project that Jan Beard-Sprague and I are working on. We are trying to coordinate the Dream Machine Sandra Taylor Facebook group and this channel, the Julie Murphy Dream Machine group, and come up with projects for this year that we can all work on together. So this first project is going to be a towel that I will post the design file so that we can all sew along together. We have one of our standard machine hoops, and I have some Wet and Gone tacky pressure sensitive stabilizer. It's water soluble. We're going to use the top hoop as a measurement guide to cut the piece of stabilizer. Once we've cut our stabilizer, we're going to keep the shiny side of the stabilizer underneath the top hoop. And we're just going to take it over to our bottom hoop. And we're just going to press it in. Once we have that, we're going to take a pin and we're going to score across. And all that does, it doesn't have to be perfect. All that's going to do is give us the opportunity to pull the stabilizer back and just rip it off and get it ready. And we'll just pull this back. And then what we'll do is we will place our towel. Next thing we're going to do is I have my towel already prepared with the plastic insert that came as our guide for the hoop. I don't always use this, but for this particular towel, I actually have these lines that are part of it that I want to work with and make sure I get the lines lined up with the marks within our hoop. So once we have this exactly where we want it on our towel, we will then put the hoop up under our towel. And what we're going to do is find those little places where the notches are. And without moving our hoop, we will just line up our notches. Once we have it set, we will just press down on our towel. And we are ready to stitch. So let's move over to the machine. Okay, back here at the machine, I have my thumb drive. And I'm going to just put it in the side of the machine in the top slot. The second slot is actually for if you wanted to connect mouse to your sewing machine. But for this, we're putting it in the top slot on the side of our machine. And now we're going to go into embroidery. And we are going to, can you see this down here, right here, that looks like a little trident? That is the symbol that we need to use when we're pulling something in from a thumb drive. And here is the bee pocket. And there is our little coffee mug or coffee cup. Pull it up, it's on the screen, and now we are going to set. And there we have it on our screen. Now before we press embroidery, what I would like to do is actually go into add, and we're going to add the word cappuccino. So we'll press add and we will select number 2. And I think for this project, I'm going to actually use the letters that are in number 10. Now, I would like to do the word cappuccino with everything being lowercase. So I'm going to choose lowercase letters. And before I can make things, our machines, we have the opportunity to do large, medium, or small. And before we can make that decision, we have to at least choose the first letter. So there we have a fairly large C. And so I'm going to actually change it to medium. And then I'm going to type it out. Gotta check my spelling here. And there we go. And for this, what I think I would like to do is actually place it on an array. And an array just means that we can use a shape. So let me press, this is our array button down here. So I'm going to select that. And I want it to kind of curve like the curve of the saucer. So I'll choose that. And that's very curved. So now I think what I want to do is open the curve back up. This one closes the curve up, and this one opens it up. And that's as far as the machine will let us go in opening the actual array up. So once we're happy with that, we'll say OK. And now we will set. And there it is sitting right on top of our mug. Obviously that's not where we want the word, so what we're going to do is, we have two options. We can, as long as this, let me zoom in a little bit and show you. Can you see how the word cappuccino has the red boxes around it? What we're going to do is actually, we can either touch it and drag it down, or we can come up here to, let me zoom back out for you. We can touch edit, and we can move and just use our directional arrows to get it where we want it. And I'm pretty happy with that. So once you're happy with it, you can go ahead and say OK and press embroidery. One thing we need to do before we start stitching is add a securing basting stitch around our design. Remember, we're floating this towel on top of a piece of stabilizer. So what we're going to do is touch edit. And you see this little box right here that has the flower with the line around it? That is our basting stitch. So let's go ahead and touch that and watch the design. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see. So we're going to touch the button, and you'll notice that it puts a stitch around our design. And there's our basting stitch. And we're ready to get started. So we're back at the fabric, and I wanted you to see it's the fabric we had hooped up earlier. And we've got our sticky wash away on the bottom, we have our towel, and we have our sticky wash away on the top. We're using that, remember, because it's not a very dense design, and it'll be easy to stabilize and then wash away. I have a pre-wound bobbin in the bobbin case, and in the top I have a Floriani beige, and then the needle is a 7010 Microtex sharp. And get started. Our mug is finished stitching, and now we're ready. I've changed the thread, and we're ready to stitch out the word cappuccino. Thanks for joining us for this portion of the video. If you'd like to join us for the second video, I'm going to show you how to go about adding designs to the mug and possibly maybe some steam coming out of the mug. So we'll see you in the second video. Thanks for watching.